All right, good evening and welcome, traders. It is Wednesday, 3/27/2024. Let's get into the markets today and see what happened. And let me share some screens with you. Interesting end of the day today. We want to jump in. I'll take a look at my day trading screen. Let me grab myself off of the screen here so you can see everything. Here's what we were looking at throughout the day today. Just this little bit of a drift down or, gap up, drifted back throughout the morning session, all the way till noon, nothing, 1 o'clock, nothing, 2 o'clock, nothing, 3 o'clock, nothing. Then right around 3:30, bam, just screamed to the upside. So the markets just took off to the upside right here, right at almost exactly 3:30 in the afternoon. Now we were setting up with everything drifting lower, MACD heading down, stochastic momentum heading down, all of those squeeze heading down, and then right here at exactly, probably 321, you had the first signs here that RSI started to hook back higher. Stochastic momentum flipped and started running higher right around the exact 521. MACD started heading higher at 521. So you had this early warning signs that while we were dropping lower, everything was starting, all the momentum had completely run out of this down move. The momentum was out. Then here on this first candle, right around 521, started to move up higher. And you could just see the momentum just building here. We broke through right at 327 on this big move here, broke through the MACD, stochastic momentum was heading higher. We ran way hard into the overbought on the 3-minute session here. You could see it also happening here on the 15-minute. You could see that we pulled down and then started just hook back around really around 3 o'clock. It just started to, everything started just moving higher. We were in a squeeze, and then right at 3:30, that squeeze just fired here, and we blasted above the 2 and 3 ATRs all in one move, way above the 3 ATR here. So huge move to the end of the day today, while we just drifted sideways to lower most of the afternoon. So made a big change in really the dynamics of the market as a whole for the day. Now, it doesn't mean, we can't still sell off tomorrow, but that was a pretty bullish move end of day. And for us, wiped out some bigger gains that we had. We still ended up positive on the day with some gains, but we don't really need the market continuing to just crank its way higher by 50 points a session. It's just not helpful. It's not helpful to anybody. I mean, if you're only long stocks, that's great, but that's not how we play the market here. So just taking a quick look at ES overall on the weekly chart here on ES futures. We have been just selling off for 4 straight weeks. The momentum's been coming out of the squeeze and the MACD. However, you've just been overbought and just staying overbought, if not rising at the same time. So we're now back almost to new all-time highs again on it. And if we look at the daily charts over here, you've had 3 days of momentum dropping, and then all of a sudden, just boom, big bounce today off the 9 EMA. Managed to avert a bearish PSR reversal here. So big move on the day. Is that the next? Was that it? So if you look at what happened the last time, 3 down, okay, then 4 up. So 3 down here, we'll see. We've been averaging maybe 2 down days in a reversal, 2 down days and a move higher. Kind of a few mixed day, 2 down days, move higher. And then 3 down days, move higher. So if this holds true, maybe we break to new all-time highs and we start to head up towards that 5,400 level, maybe in the next couple of days. But we're still very bullish on both the weekly and the daily. However, the momentum still continues to come out of the market. All right, let's take a quick look at oil and what did oil do overall on the session today. We'll pop into the weekly and the daily a little bit more. Weekly still continues to power its way higher. You're in a squeeze. Looks like we could be firing that squeeze to the upside. Oil just really moving higher the last 3 weeks solidly here as we're in this tightening triangle, but we're definitely in an uptrend. So very bullish move here on the weekly, and then on the daily, tight squeeze. I think squeezing tighter and tighter and tighter, and just hanging in there today. Just an overall sideways drift right now as we squeeze, getting into this really the apex or whatever you want to call it of the triangle pattern. Still bullish on oil, so I think overall we're still overall riding that bullish wave higher, and we'll just keep doing that until anything changes that would change our mind. Gold, same type of situation here. Look at the weekly chart, just powering its way higher. MACD, RSI, squeeze firing this week as we're moving higher, breaking out of this bull flag pattern. So big up move, consolidation, bull flag, and then boom, breaking out yesterday with good follow through today. Even though MACD and RSI and squeeze had been weakening, we got the breakout, and these things look to be powering their way higher. So good looking gold bullish move. Let's take a look at bonds. All right, so here on bonds, you've got weakening MACD, RSI, and squeeze on the weekly. So I think we've just been in this downtrend channel for quite a while, a couple months here on the weekly. But on the daily, we now have a higher low, and we'll see if we can make a higher high. So this downtrend in a little bit of jeopardy if we can get above these recent highs around 122 or so on bonds. That would trigger a new higher low, higher high scenario, maybe breaking out finally on these. I just think bonds continue to move sideways. We're at this, we're no different than we were back in September of last year. So just a ton of sideways action, and your moving averages are very sideways. So I like where we are here. I think it sets up good for bonds. IV, very low. But I think overall, this thing sets up good for 1-1-2 trades and strangles. Taking a look at copper. And copper had a strong move higher, still in a bullish trend, weakening a bit here. But overall, weekly bullish trend, daily bullish trend, pulling back to this trend line. We'll see if this thing can hold above the trend line, a little peak below today, but then finished up at its highs of the day. MACD's been weakening, RSI has been weakening, squeeze has been weakening, so it's been running out of momentum. I tried to get a strangle placed on this today, couldn't get a fill, which is not surprising because copper is tough to fill sometimes. But overall, I like copper here for not only 1-1-2 trades, but potentially a strangle now on copper. Looking at the NASDAQ, nothing really different here than the S&P, pretty much the same basic setup. Big mover today in the Russell. The Russell, the biggest index, moving up over 2.4% on the day. Big move on Russell, breaking this ascending triangle solidly today. See if we can get some follow through because we've broken it and then couldn't hold it right after that. But I think you've got weekly momentum on the RSI moving higher and then lower on the squeeze. MACD might be reversing its way higher as well. And then on the daily, just a lot of sideways action, but in a squeeze. Maybe this is the squeeze breakout as we maybe rotate a little bit more into the Russell. But I'm really bullish on the Russell here. I think this thing looks really, really, really good. We've got ratio spreads up 19% in 2 days. We've got a 1-1-2 trade up 73% on here. So we are really doing well on RTY. I'd like to get some more trades on RTY. Just strapped a little bit on the buying power side. And then on the Aussie dollar, taking a look at this, a bit of a, really a bit of a triangle pattern if you really want to be pretty specific on it. So triangle pattern, you're really pinching in right to the center. But overall, it's been in a general uptrend, even though the more recent trend is down. MACD has been falling, RSI has been pretty much sideways, and the squeeze just running out of momentum on any move here. But if we look at the daily, same type of thing. You're running out of some momentum, but it's just holding in there sideways. I like 6A for a strangle. In fact, we popped another strangle in 6A today. Our previous one is up 47% in 21 days, waiting to see that thing just expire and come off. We wanted to reload with another one. 6E, pretty much the same. Let's get rid of this line. Pretty much the same type of pattern. Look at this sideways. I think sets up really nicely for a strangle on the euro. You could even do something similar on the British pound. You know, I think it's still strangleable in here as well. And then lastly, let's just touch base on our wheat trade. We got in on a really a little bit longer term 90-day wheat trade here, a little something different. And we did a put credit spread as we kind of bounced off of this support level. The squeeze is moving higher into a squeeze. MACD had been moving higher, little sideways right now, RSI sideways. And if we look at the weekly trend, it's been trying to reverse on the MACD. It's been a little weak to sideways on RSI, and it's been down on the squeeze momentum. So a lot of mixed signals here. And you've got a bearish PSAR weekly and a bullish PSAR daily. Really good strangle opportunity, I think, on wheat. I wanted to play it one-sided with the call credit spread, or the puts credit spread. All right, let's take a quick look at our account on the session today. So where did we end up? Well, with that late day rally, it really pushed our deltas down. Still minus 269, not the worst we've been. Still very delta neutral, so I'm pretty happy with exactly where we are. Theta stayed almost exactly identical to yesterday, 1128, which is 0.24%. So decent theta given where we are on IV everywhere. So volatility is just really, really dead. And if you look at the VIX again today, it's back down almost to a new recent low. We've only been this low on VIX, well, twice in last week. And then prior to that, we haven't been this low since around January. So VIX almost at its lowest point of the year so far. We're not too far away from about 12.4 on the VIX, which is, I think, our lowest point on the year. See if we can pull that out. About 12.35, something along those lines. So VIX really low and keeping our data a little bit more in check. We did hit a new all-time high in the portfolio today, 476, 278. So yet another new all-time high. We were up significantly more, only closed the day up about $400. At one point, we were up almost $2,000 on the day when the ES was a lot weaker. We need the ES to probably get a little bit weaker for us to really see some significant net lit gains. But I mean, I'll take all-time highs in here. Nothing wrong with all-time highs. I just think we could be doing a little bit more. We're a little bit too bearish for our own good, and that's restricting our trading a tad right now. We have a few too many hedges and some naked calls on, and that's giving us that negative delta. That's strapping us a bit in here. Otherwise, I think we'd be up even more. But I mean, you can't really complain when you're at a new all-time high every single day. BP use has popped up a bit because we did place some trades today. Overall, we're sitting at 56%. So still not too bad. We're close to the 50%. We're not significantly over right now, so that's totally fine. We did manage to close out a trade today for 42.60, so 4,260 today. That was a long-term 112 naked put. So we closed a naked put after 84 days in the trade for almost 95%. We were close. We're doing a long video on how to use the spreadsheet, how to track your trades, how to handle modifying and managing your portfolio. You really need to work as if you were a hedge fund manager, and that's what we're doing here. We've got a dashboard that's giving us our dials and readings. Our delta, typically we're using that as a little bit of a temperature gauge, see if we're running hot or too cool. Our theta is really our RPMs that we're generating. If you need some more speed, or really the gas to the engine is theta. So the more gas you give it, the more this engine's going to crank out some speed and crank up those RPMs. And then the net lick's really just the engine on this car. So the higher we go, I'm sorry, not is really the car itself. Okay, it's getting up to a pretty good speed. And then BP usage, really that's your that's your engine as well, trying to tell if you've got ability to add more gas or not to it, or we're just going to kind of cruise control. And right now we can't really add a whole lot of new trades. We're sitting here at 56%. I'm expecting some things to come off this week. Now I did take a trade off today, but that didn't really free up a lot of buying power, and we added back in a strangle today as well. So we used that buying power right back up quickly. But overall, we are sitting up $10,125 for the month, which is not bad considering we took two really big loss days here of over $10,000 on two strangles earlier this month. So overall, strangles are still down about $6,500 here when we look at the strategies, but that's not too bad if you're down 6,500 in strangles, but you're still up $10,000 overall. And we're almost at our goal for the month, even with two big losses. So it's a great thing about being diversified by strategy, being diversified by underlying, and being diversified by DTE. So we managed to notch two long-term 112s, closed out the naked puts this month, $6,300 there. So right now that is the leading vote getter when it comes to the strategies that we have. And then the 112s up $1,300, like those. BA 112, we're up right now. I think we'll go back to about zero. Ratio spreads, we're up 1250. Zero DTE had a really good month, and we haven't really traded a ton this month. I haven't liked some of the markets during the day, so we've stayed out, and I've been a little bit busy with some other things to trade it. Our 120-day naked puts are up 1,500. We've got bill distributions and then our spec trade. So overall, we're doing fantastic. We've generated $54,000 in gains this year, which comes to 12.74%. So we're really up almost 13% on the year compared to the S&P, which even after today is up 10.7%. So S&P is on fire at 10.7%. That's a year most of the time for the S&P, but we're up already in realized gains of almost 13%, and we're up in net lick 12%. So we're definitely beating a hot market, which is pretty good to do, and we will see our account really start to perform if we get any kind of a downtrend at all. The market will start to head lower, and we will definitely be heading higher. So overall, we're doing fantastic. Again, up 54,000. We are 16,600, almost $17,000 ahead of our planned goal, and we've won 92 of 97 trades that we have, and that includes hedges in there, which is always a loss. So we're up with a 95% win rate on all of the different trades that we have running, and we've put a lot of trades on this year. In fact, I think if we look at our, I don't know if we can want to pull up our history at all on anything year to date. We have, I don't think I can count it through here. So transactions, yeah, it's not really going to give me that the number that I'm looking for. I can probably export it to a CSV file. Let's see what happens here. I just want to give you a sense of how many trades we have put on, but overall, of the 97 trades that have win or loss potential, 92 of those have been winners. So we're doing extremely well. We have a really good win rate, which is what we would expect. 5% in January, 6.5% last month, and we're up over 2% this month with a couple days to go in the account. So overall, we're pretty happy with where we are on trades. I like to do this every couple days in here. Let me give you just one quick look at the trades that we have on without getting too in depth on it. All right, so here's what we have working right now. So a good handful of trades. Pretty good day today. The only thing that's hurting us a little bit is on ES. We have some naked calls, and that's really what's holding our net lig back are these naked calls that we have in ES. But we're fine with where they are. They were put on for a reason, and they're put on in conjunction with our portfolio. So overall, pretty good with what we're doing. We added some new trades today. So you can see up here, you've got a 6A strangle. So that strangle's up and running as of today. You can see a couple of the other trades we've got working. So I'm pretty happy with exactly where we are on this. And if I look at the allocation as well, let's go back, just take a quick look at this thing, and then we'll let you guys go for the evening. Here's our allocation. Right now, we're sitting at 41% of all of our trades are in ES. So 41% of our buying power is in ES. So we're using 41% of ES. We're at 21% in oil. We're at 6% in RTY. We're at 5% in bonds, 5% in Aussie dollar, 4% in copper, and then we've got some other things sprinkled in here with the NASDAQ and wheat and gold, and then bills sitting there pretty nicely at 15%. So right now, a really well-positioned portfolio. What I'd like to be able to do is add more to oil and to bonds while I continue to add to some of them and get some gold running. But oil bonds, we're probably not as even as we'd like to be, but right now you've got to be taking advantage of ES. I think it makes the most sense to be long trades and really being mostly in the ES. If this thing starts to roll over, yeah, we'll make our adjustments there. We've done it before. We've done it in bear markets. We've done it in bull markets. It doesn't really matter. All right, so I hope this was helpful for you. Big rally end of the day. We're going to see if we get some continuation from that rally tomorrow. But we're positioned well, closed a great trade today. Got a really good month going overall, despite the 2 losses early, but we're still up pretty nicely. And really overall, even for the month, we've only had 2 losers out of 30 trades. So I'm certainly going to take that any day of the week. All right, if this video was helpful for you, you know what to do. Click the like button. If you can click the like button, it's going to help me out as well. If you feel the content I'm sharing is valuable, I'd love you to help me out. Get the word out. Let's see how many people we can help. Had some really great testimonials from some people who've been going through some tough things in their personal lives today, and we've been able to help turn them around, put them on a plan to a better financial future, and that's really what it's all about. So we're just trying to help as many people as we can get a plan together, understand what they're doing. We're not shooting for 5, 10% a month or something else. We're shooting for 1, 2, 3% a month on a consistent and repeatable basis. And I think you can absolutely do that. And we want to help you get there. All right. So like the video if you feel this was good content for you. If you're not a member, subscribe. You know that you're going to get some good content coming. And if you want to join us in the Discord and see exactly what makes the engine turn and get the inside scoop on trades, new ideas, some really cool new things we're doing with SPX, with portfolio margin or not portfolio margin, trading XSP. Also, some different things in an IRA that we've been putting together. And we've been just reviewing trade plans of our small group session members, helping them put together a plan that's going to help them and their family get more financially free as we move forward, help you achieve those goals that you set for yourself. So if you don't have your why, you don't have your goals, that's the first thing. Get started on that. Then come join us. We'll help you put a plan together that's going to make financial sense for you. All right, everybody take care. We will see you in the markets tomorrow. Have a great rest of your evening. Bye-bye.